can say, I kind of think that God was just padding his word count with this passage. This kind of revelation avoidance is very sad because way too many people in the church are missing out on all the blessings that God himself promises to those who read it. It is because I want everyone to experience these guaranteed blessings that I've written this book. It's true that, at first, Revelation can be intimidating. However, once you start reading, you'll be shocked at how easy it is to understand. Again, God wrote it to be read, not just by the professionals, but by you. For many years, I was a tour guide in Israel. When I took a group to a location like Caesarea Philippi or En-Gedi or Gethsemane, my goal was to make sure that by the time our bus departed, everyone knew all that they needed to know about that particular site. That is my goal as we roll up to Revelation. I want to be your tour guide, and together we will discover all the wonderful knowledge, promises, and blessings found in this letter. This is not a commentary. This is a tour. My hope is that everyone who gets to the last page will say, "Okay, now I get it." What an awesome plan God has. This book is written for the common person, the everyday student of God's Word. If you want to dig deeper, let me encourage you to check out the accompanying workbook that I have written with a man who has been teaching Bible prophecy for decades and whose name shares the cover of this book, my good friend Dr. Rick Yon. Now, my friends, step up into the bus and find a seat. We are now departing, and the sights you are about to see will amaze you. A long letter. In our age of technology, we no longer make a habit of sending letters to one another. Instead, we use email, texts, and social media. For me, my use of social media allows me to reach hundreds of thousands of people in real time with updates about events that are taking place in the Middle East. This would be impossible if we were still in the old non-digital days. In John's time, he didn't have any of those fancy options. If you wanted to communicate something to someone and you couldn't be there yourself, your one choice was putting pen to paper. We should be very thankful that social media did not exist in the first century. Why? Because posts are usually short, to the point, and often meaningless. Can you imagine Paul, rather than writing the letters to the church in Corinth, spending his time trolling the accounts of Apollos and Peter, or creating memes that take jabs at the super apostles of 2 Corinthians 11 and 12? What if, rather than penning the amazing visions he was given of the throne room of God, John had spent his time on Patmos posting pictures of beach life and the lunch he had made of the tiny crabs he caught in the tide pools? The first century Roman Empire was a letter-writing society, and 22 of the 27 New Testament books take that form. All of Paul's writings are letters, as are the writings by Peter, John, except for his gospel, the anonymous writer of Hebrews, and James and Jude, the brothers of Jesus. In fact, once you finish the Gospels and Acts, everything from that point on might well have been stuffed into an envelope with a church's address scrolled on the front. Revelation is no different. In a glorious moment on a rocky island, John was commissioned by Jesus Christ to send a letter to 7 of his churches. Some of the content was dictated by Jesus while John furiously scribbled. Some of it, the apostle would witness firsthand, but all of it was a direct message from God to his people. How is it then that so many Christians and their pastors turn their backs on this precious part of God's truth? There's no doubt that the churches